Good morning. Good morning. It looks like it's time for Shoot the Shit, and I've got Chris Schoenberger in the house already. I appreciate you, my friend. So, those of you who are joining me on Facebook, they still haven't fixed the connection issue. So, when you type in a comment, do me a favor, give me your name and then the comment. That way I know who you are when I'm talking to you. If you're on YouTube, make sure you're logged into your YouTube account, and that way I can see your name. So, as I said, we've already got the good morning from Chris Schoenberger. We've got a good morning from Deja Wakefield. The Wake. Is that Deja Wakefield? The Wake? Or is that somebody else? Who is that? We've got Avery Ward is in the house saying hi to Chris. Not to me, but hi to Chris. I mean, that's fantastic. I've got a good morning from a Facebook user. Do me a favor, retype in good morning with your name first so I know who you are. They broke the connection. Facebook shut down, I guess, all external apps being able to share names. We've got ABR's in the house. Shaheen is in the house. Good to see you, my friend. It is wonderful to have you. We've got, it is Deja, D Wake. She's got her thing. She's got her thing. D Wake is in the house. I'm going to call you D Wake now. That's your new name, your rap name. We've got Mario in the house. Good morning. Good morning to see you. I've repositioned monitors, so you're going to see me looking over this way instead of that way. The old day, I don't know. We've got Avery's getting a hi from Chris, and then we've got Kim Newsom's in the house. It's good to have you, as always. We've got Attila. Man, I always do that. Muddy Waters Gastropub. I like me a gastropub. I like high-end casual food. That's my thing, man. Give me some truffle fries. Just make things a little nicer. We got it looks like a D-Wade. D-Wade. Yes, it does, doesn't it? It does sound like a basketball name. We've got a lot of you joining right now. We've got a lot of you still coming in. We've got Chef Keith Taylor. What's going on? From the Burbs in Philly. Good morning to you. It has been a long time since we have chatted, my friend. I hope you are doing fantastic. Let's see. We got any more good mornings? We could probably get started here in just a second. I've got to do a couple adjustments here, and we should be good to go. I think we're there. So I think it's time to get started, shall we? Let's get this started. I got all these things to do, all to go live. Come on now. There we go. Welcome to Shoot the Shit with DSP. STS with DSP happens every Friday at 8 a.m. Pacific Time, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, live on Facebook and YouTube, travel schedule permitting. We're going to invest about 30 minutes out of your day to get pumped about the upcoming weekend, get excited about crushing your goals, finding the motivation to be the best you possible. Plus, I'll answer your burning questions. I'm Dave Scott Peters, creator of the Restaurant Prosperity Formula, and your coach. And today we're tackling a vital topic that stands at the core of leadership and success in the restaurant industry. The critical importance of embracing accountability over the ease of deflection, especially when it comes not from completing tasks or fulfilling a job responsibility. Again, for those of you who are joining me, do know that if you're joining me on Facebook, make sure you type in your name and your comment for me because we've lost that connection. And if you're on YouTube, make sure you're logged into your YouTube account, and that way I can see who you are and we'll communicate. Once I'm done my portion, it's your question answer time. Let's dive into how accountability can be your secret ingredient to creating a culture of excellence and reliability. Accountability in the restaurant business is about owning your actions and their outcomes. It's the willingness to say, yes, I did this. And yes, how I'll make it right, regardless of the situation. This principle is the bedrock of trust and integrity within your team. But why is it so hard to maintain accountability, especially in a high-pressured environment like restaurants? Let's explore this together. In the heat of the kitchen and the hustle of the dining room, mistakes happen. When the pressure mounts, it's a natural reflex to deflect blame. The supplier was late, the kitchen was understaffed, or the system crashed. Do these things sound familiar to you? While these reasons can be valid, too often they become a shield against personal responsibility. Not my fault, man, somebody else's. This deflection can create a toxic culture where problems persist because no one feels empowered to address them head on. It stifles growth, erodes trust, and can ultimately lead to a restaurant's downfall. Imagine a scenario where a manager forgets to place an order for essential products. The easy route would be, oh, let's blame it on the chaos of the day or the inefficiency of the system. The accountable route, what does that look like? Own the oversight, right? Own it. I did that. I made the mistake, and immediately work on a solution. This response not only solves a problem, but also strengthens the team's resilience and creativity in facing challenges. Accepting accountability isn't just about admitting a fault. It's about leading by example and showing your team that every problem is an opportunity to learn and improve. Now, coaching your managers to embrace accountability is a multifaceted process. So let's break it down further. Number one, you've got to lead by example. We've heard this, it's an overused phrase. I know it. But truly, your actions speak louder than your words. Show your team how to handle mistakes with grace and responsibility. Share your own experiences with accountability, both successes and challenges. This vulnerability builds a strong leadership foundation. 2, establish clear expectations. Ambiguity is the enemy of accountability. Define clear, measurable goals for your managers. Use tools like performance metrics and regular check-ins to keep their expectations front and center. 3, encourage open communication. Foster an environment where feedback flows freely in all directions. Hold regular meetings where both successes and failures can be discussed openly. Use these discussions as a learning opportunity rather than a blame session. 4, provide constructive feedback. When addressing issues, focus on the behavior, not the person. Use specific examples and outline the impact of their actions on the team and the restaurant. Then collaboratively explore solutions and alternatives. 5, celebrate accountability. Recognize when your managers take ownership of their actions, especially the challenging situations. This can be as simple as a verbal acknowledgement at a team meeting, or as formal as, well, maybe an accountability award given every single month. Number 6, implement support systems. Ensure your managers have the resources, training, and support they need to succeed. This might mean investing in better technology, offering training sessions, or simply being available for guidance when they face new challenges. Let's bring this to life with some examples. Picture a busy Friday night where a misunderstanding with a supplier leads to you 86ing a key menu item. Think about that. How pissed could you be? Like, this is one of our items and it's 86th. Because someone made an error. An accountable manager would immediately communicate this issue to the team, brainstorm alternatives, and inform guests with honesty and poise, turning a potential disaster into a display of exceptional customer service. Consider the power of a weekly review session where managers are encouraged to share one mistake they made that week and what they learned from it. This practice not only normalizes accountability, but also turns it into a collective tool for improvement. Let's say you've got a manager who repeatedly makes the same mistake, despite acknowledging it. First, it's crucial to understand the root of the cause, right? What is the root cause? Why do they keep making the same mistake over and over and over again? Is it a lack of training, resources, or perhaps a deeper issue with motivation? Once identified, work together to create a personalized action plan. Like, what can we do to make sure this one person doesn't continue to make that mistake? That's that don't know versus don't care thing I talk about all the time. Don't know is your fault. You haven't figured out how they learn. You haven't trained them properly. Don't care, now there's the door. But we're not at that point yet. Why? What's the root cause? This might involve additional training, mentorship, or setting up a structured accountability system with regular check-ins to make sure they're staying on pace, that if they have questions, they get answered, that they don't keep making the mistake. Remember, your job is to never let them to fail. The goal is to support, not punish. That way you foster growth and improvement. What about encouraging accountability among the entire team, not just your management team? This starts with creating a culture where accountability is valued and recognized. Implement team-based goals and celebrate when they're achieved. Encourage peer-to-peer feedback and create a safe space for open communication. When the team sees accountability as a shared value, it becomes a part of the fabric of the restaurant's culture. A crucial aspect of leadership is balancing accountability with empathy. When a mistake happens, approach the situation with understanding. Listen to your manager's perspective. Acknowledge the stress and challenges they faced. And then guide the conversation towards solutions and learning opportunities. This approach assures that accountability is not about assigning blame, but about growing and moving forward together. Now, as we wrap up today's session, I want to leave you with a final thought. The journey towards creating a culture of accountability is ongoing. It requires commitment, patience, and a willingness to adapt and learn. But the rewards, stronger teams, improved performance, and a thriving restaurant are all well worth it. I know that I talk about accountability a lot. Heck, it is the final piece of the restaurant prosperity formula. Right? Bottom line is, you could be a great leader, have systems, training. You could take action, but if you don't hold people accountable, it doesn't matter all those other things that you've done. And accountability does not have to be a dirty word. It's your opportunity to coach. Now, the key here is in today's lesson, is approaching this in a way to make your managers understand they need to accept their accountability, to not deflect, not to blame others, because that doesn't accomplish anything. And it starts with you as the leader of your restaurant. That's why patience is important. That's why training is important. That's why creating a plan for success for each one of your managers individually, calling them out on deflection and stating it, saying, you as the person, that's not the issue, it's the behavior. And now you're on a path to truly making change in your business, because without accountability, nothing's going to get done. That concludes my portion of the STS with DSP. Now it's time for you and your questions. So let's see what we've got here. I've got some more hellos, I think, here. Let's see. Mario's here from the Times Square Tavern. Good morning to you. I've got another good morning here. Mary says, remember, type in your name beforehand. If you're on Facebook, that would be very helpful. Steve Eller, I didn't think you were going to be here. Steve Eller's in the house, here until the nice man at Xfinity takes me offline. I did not expect you. All right, Keith says, I may need to get my glasses here and read it off the smaller portion. Chef Keith Taylor says, I am creating a new inventory master with pack size, units, measurements, current pricing, using all Cisco pricing for my new kitchen. I shop everything I purchase. My question is, does it make sense to build an inventory master? Let me go over here. Does it make sense to build does it make sense to make inventory masters, standard recipe cards, and menu pricing decisions based on worst case cost scenarios, Cisco and broadline suppliers, or incorporate the pricing from smaller suppliers, local vendors, Restaurant Depot, and regional purveyors at the beginning when I do this inventory master? Keith, you and I have known each other for a long time, my friend. We've been on calls in my past life, my old company. I don't know if we've talked in, gosh, have we not talked in the last 5 years? I feel like I know you well. With that said, I'm going to tell you I'm not building it in a spreadsheet, my friend. I'm going to go to marginedge.com/DSP for David Scott Peters. Margin Edge is a software that I've been recommending to all my members, and it came from my members. They're restaurant owners who built a solution for them. They understand. They've got a great interface, and Bruce is who you talk to. But you got to get there through marginedge.com/DSP. I do not get a commission. I do not get a kickback. I get no financial benefit from this. I just want to get you to the right person. But running your business, your kitchen, I should say, on spreadsheets is not going to work when it comes to recipe card and updating prices. Because what you described are two things. One is I want to get away from cherry picking. Otherwise, the distributors call it spreadsheeting, where if I look at, and 4 places I can buy chicken from and I buy the cheapest that week, the amount of time that takes and what you really think you're going to save is not worth it. I'd rather have a broadline distributor as my prime vendor and lock down the best pricing on as much as I can. Because what happens when you pay attention to those proteins, you're getting screwed on janitorial and paper supplies and smallwares and all these other things that you're not paying attention to. You're thinking a home run, but they're making up the money elsewhere when they offer you those cheaper numbers. It also means we have multiple deliveries. And keeping up with those spreadsheets, in theory, what would happen, Keith, is you would have to say, I replace this chicken with this chicken. What is that price? Every time you build that master, it's got to be updated. The beautiful thing about software is you're going to grab your phone, you're going to take a picture of the damn invoice, upload it into the cloud, and next thing you know, Margin Edge is going to put that into your database to make sure that whatever you're buying now is the chicken you're using at today's price. So when you take an inventory, it's going to be updated. When you do your next recipe cards and look at it, it's up to date. Everything is up to date automatically. I would not run my restaurant today without food and beverage software. I recommend Margin Edge. Don't care if you go to my old company, you go somewhere else. It's all good stuff. It's just an interface. The difference being is with Margin Edge, it's one thing. It's doing one thing, doing it really, really well. So hopefully that's the answer to your question. It's probably not the answer you wanted, but I'd get software. I've got a good morning from Luke in Toronto. I like it. It's cold up there, man. I don't want to do that. All right, here is the link somebody put in. The LP, where'd the LP come from? I think it's marginedge.com/DSP will work. I also recommend Bruce. He's a great resource. DSP is 100% right. Contact him today. This is Chris Schoenberger. By the way, I send you to Bruce because Bruce is a 30-plus year professional, worked for chains like Hooters and so on and so forth, knows his shit. You're not going to get the 20-year-old who's reading a script. He's just a stand-up guy. I got a happy Friday from a Facebook user, whoever this is. Do me a favor, say happy Friday again, but type your name in. Facebook broke the connection with the software I use. Every software, they shut it down. So I don't know who you are. Luke says, is there a back-of-house software you recommend for things like inventory, recipe costing, and recipes? Yes, marginedge.com. That is, go back. That is to click on this link or marginedge.com/DSP. I don't know about the LP that you need that. Whether that will redirect without, I don't think you need that. That's what I recommend. This is coming from somebody who created software, my old company. It's a solid solution for you. But I'll tell you, there are others out there. It's just interface. This is all freaking math. They all do the same damn things. Some it's support and what features are, so on and so forth. So hopefully that answers your question, Luke. I've got a Facebook user says, thank you, David and Mary. Do you like Extra Chef for the same task? I'm going to tell you this. Extra Chef, which is Toast, I think that's the one that Toast bought. It does okay. I've had quite a number of users actually switch out of Extra Chef back to into Margin Edge. But let me be very clear. I've got nothing against Extra Chef. It's a user interface thing that what I'm finding from members, that it's maybe not quite as advanced, but the software that you will use is the software that I will love. I'm not going to tell you not to use Extra Chef. I've got nothing but some hearsay of, hey, they prefer this one over that one. The software you will use, if you will use it on a daily basis, that's the one I support. Hopefully that answers your question. We've got Melissa Rickman's in the house. I'm going to see you in person, live and in person, in just about a month. Those of you who are going to be in Vegas for Pizza Expo, make sure you search out Melissa as a speaker, although I think she's competing with me, so you'd rather see me first. Only kidding, Melissa. Whoever you want to do. Otherwise, if you're going to be at Bar and Restaurant Expo, I'll be there too. So make sure we communicate. We got a happy Friday. That happy Friday was for Melissa. Bruce is a great resource too for more than just software. He also helped me with an accounting option too. That's Chris. Chris says, yeah, he's a great restaurant pro. Agreed. Bruce is great, and so is everyone you had recommended. Matt Plapp from ABR. What's up? Is this Matt Plapp from ABR or recommended? We recommended. Matt's awesome. All right, here we've got greetings from Kuwait. Man, that is awesome. The internet is amazing. What time is it in Kuwait? It's got to be in the middle of the night. We also a great resource to see all the options for software is NRA show in Chicago in May. Yeah, absolutely. Not everybody's going to be there, but it's certainly where you're going to be. I got a laughing symbol from somebody. We've got what is the difference between cross-selling and upselling? What is the difference between cross-selling and upselling? I don't know the difference between cross-selling and upselling. I don't know that there is a difference. And it could be my ignorance. I'm not going to bullshit you. When I don't know something, I don't know something. I mean, upselling in my world is just making a guest experience better. If I was at a bar and I'd like a vodka cranberry, I'm going to say, would you like Tito's with that? You know, whether I don't want the rot gut Kamchatka vodka that's going to give me a hangover. I want a better product. Use Grey Goose, whatever you're serving that you say this is going to make my guest experience better while it increases the ring at the register. If I make the guest experience better, they're going to come back, even if it's more money. It's whether you're a Thai restaurant, you've got this incredible jalapeno fried rice that is to die for. Hey, I see the four of you may I suggest that you get a side of the jalapeno fried rice? It is tremendous. Again, upsell. But I don't know the difference between cross-sell. I don't know if it means the same thing, so I apologize. It's the first time I've heard that. All right, Carlos says, good morning, DSP. What is the name of the software company you recommend for manager checklist? That seems like a great tool for holding staff accountable. It is a great tool. Carlos, I purchase it for every one of my members who join, whether it's our RTI program or our new RTF program. Which is RTI is Restaurant Transformation Intensive. RTF is Restaurant Transformation Foundations. We purchase a 1-year subscription to it. So that software is called Jolt, jolt.com, Jolt. It is an online checklist system that is to die for. It is just the beginning of accountability. It is the beginning of training people your way. It's imposing your will without being there. It's the ability to say, hey, that dumpster lid, is it closed? Click, yes, it's closed. The next question is great, take a picture. Can't use the camera roll. The accountability goes through the roof. It is a system you have to manage. It is a system you have to build. And it will be a system you'll be working on continually if you follow the way I preach checklists. But I will tell you to change your world. When I've got members who go from starting with it and do 50% completion rates, that they're in the 90s and above every single day, how much smoother their operations are, it is unbelievable. Do know that Jolt has some other products in there from training libraries, food safety, labeling, like really good stuff, scheduling. But what I focus on is the checklist. So hopefully it answers your question. And we've got a thank you from Carlos. You are welcome, my friend. Let's see, what do we have here? Jose from Chicago Taco Factory Authority says, hey, David, love Margin Edge and 7 Shifts for sales forecast. 7 Shifts is probably the scheduling software that most of my members use. A lot of my members are now using 5out.io for forecasting. But yes, a tool that works well. 7 Shifts is certainly working on their AI for that as well. Ryan here. Carlos, text me. I'll talk to you about David's new coaching program featuring Jolt training. Okay. Ryan says, give him a call, man. That's Ryan James. For those of you who don't know Ryan James, let me come here. If you want to learn more about our memberships and the things we do, here's the link. dsp.coach/talk-2-Ryan, and you can get on his calendar, learn more about what we do. It'll take 15 minutes of your time. If you want, he'll probably spend a little more time with you if you've got questions above and beyond just membership. So that I would highly recommend. Let's go back to our comments here. Did I answer this one? Cross-selling is adding a sale through additional lateral products that complement the initial purchase. Yeah, that's upselling. It's upselling. Cross-selling probably sounds more like, shopping cart kind of stuff. Upselling is just making the guest experience better. So in my description, I upsold from Camp Chaka to Tito's, but I also upsold by adding the fried rice, the jalapeno fried rice, to the whole table. So I think they're the same. And that was from Chris Schoenberger. I didn't read the whole thing because it was small. Sorry about that. Hey, David, I found a guy in Florida that is completely refurbished our 10-year-old Cleveland steamer and flat top, dropped it off, and Roxy and I are doing a little R&R in Southwest Florida. Always good to listen. What's up, Rufus? Say hi to your beautiful bride for me. I do miss you guys very, very much. Let's see. What is your advice for new restaurants open with 35% food cost? That's a bigger question. So I want you to go to my YouTube channel, which is David Scott Peters. And I want you to research. I'm going to give you a brushstroke on it, but prime cost. I've got a lot of videos on prime cost and food cost. But to start off, to answer this question properly, is you've got to understand the concept of prime cost, which is gross sales before discounts, not including sales tax, plus whatever your cost of goods sold, total cost of goods sold number is, including bottled beer, draft beer, wine, liquor, plus your labor, salaried managers, hourly employees, taxes, benefits, insurance, whatever that total is. If you do over $850,000 here in the States, my expectation is not a 65% prime cost, but 55. If you're higher than that, we're going to go lower, meaning you get to $2 million and higher, we might go to 50% or even under prime cost. If you're under $850,000, I'm looking at a 60% prime cost. How we get there is I don't care. You could run that 35% food cost, be high, and say overall cost of goods sold is running 35%. Well, then that would give you 20 points in labor cost. So if our labor cost, say, is 30 and our food cost is 35, well, now I've got a challenge. So I break things up, and I think last week's Shoot the Shit, talked about the numbers. I shoot for 25% overall cost of goods sold, take a few points. I reach for labor cost, 25%, give or take a few points, right? 55 points. Down below in my operating expenses, about 25%, give or take a couple points. If I go 25, 25, 25, that's 75. I add another 5 points in prime cost, that's 80. And then anything I do here, another 5 points, changes my profitability. I want you to have a 15 to 20% profit margin. That's how we get there. So if your food cost is high, your labor cost is higher, and we need to attack it with food cost, only way to do is to do a budget with you, then we need to attack our menu. We may have to change out menu items. We may have to go to fresher ingredients. We may have to change our menu mix. We may have to buy different product from a different supplier. There's a lot to that question. But what I do want you to understand is you cannot attack one number at a time. You have to add labor and food cost and pour cost all together to find your target and then decide which one's going to be higher or lower depending on where you're located. Hopefully that answers your question. All right, I've got one last question here. Keith says, is Jolt.com the answer to the ancient Red Book accountability and management communication system? I know I'm dating myself with this question. So, Keith, I can tell you this. Different, but yes. So Jolt, the checklist system that I get for my members, we actually provide a manager log that we add in as a checklist. And it was built primarily not off Redbook, but off of comlog.com. And if you want to go back to the paper one, I've got comlog.com/DSP. Again, I don't get a referral, but they built some paper, three spiral bound manager logs. But we, again, modeled ours after that and built it into Jolt. So you get both best worlds. Impose your will, make sure things are getting done your way, and have the communication that you get all your questions answered. I will also tell you that 7Shifts has a decent manager log in there that you can build some of the similar questions in it and have that communication built into your 7Shifts. Hopefully that answers your question, my friend. Let's just take a look at my calendar and see if we have a shoot the shit next week. We do. I am in town. We are right at our half hour. I want to thank each and every one of you for spending your Friday morning with me. I hope you found today valuable. Certainly would love to talk to you if you want to, again, learn more about membership and what we do here at davidscottpeters.com, aka Take Action Enterprises LLC. You can reach out to Ryan at dsp.coach/talk-to-Ryan. He'll take 15 minutes of your time, learn more about you and your business, find out if one of our memberships might be right for you, if there's a good fit. Love to hear from you. Otherwise, know that I'm here every Friday, travel schedule permitting, to provide you the information you need. Make sure you tune into my podcast, Restaurant Prosperity Formula, found on all the popular podcasting services. Check out my YouTube channel, David Scott Peters. There is so much free information out there for you that you can circle around me all day long, and I'm here to help. Whether a member or not, I'm here to help. So this is the place to get your questions answered. So I will see you next Friday on Shoot the Shit with DSP. Peace, everyone. Go out there, kick some ass.